Good afternoon, guys. It is December 21st, 2022. On this video here, I want to give you guys a 5-year update on my KIRBY Ultimate G. Now, out of all the vacuums that I currently own, this one I have owned the longest. I bought it December 21st, 2017 for $100 at a local pawn shop. And it came with everything. It came with all the attachments, the hose, the wands, the shampooer, all of it. Now, initially when I got this, it was in very good condition. And, it was a little worn, but it wasn't like in bad shape at all. It was very clean, very nice. This particular one is a 2003, so it's just turning over to 20 years old, I believe, in May, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this machine is absolutely outstanding in every single way that I could imagine. I mean, yes, it has its drawbacks, yes, it has its disadvantages, but despite that, there's more good than bad with this. Tons more good than bad. So, where do I even start with this? Well, it's been 5 years. And most vacuum cleaners these days, after 5 years, are looking a little worn, looking a little sad. And, I mean, this thing doesn't even act its age at all. So, and obviously it's more than 5 years old, but I have owned it and used it for the last 5 years. So, I have used this machine for tons and tons and tons of jobs. Let's see, where do I even start? I have vacuumed just about everything you can imagine with this. I have done quite a bit. I have vacuumed cars multiple times, not just my own cars or my parents' cars. I don't own a car, but other people's cars, friends' cars, things like that with the hose and everything. I have vacuumed cars probably a good 10 to 20 times in the 5 years I've had this. I have vacuumed dryer vents, I have vacuumed refrigerator coils, I have vacuumed so many things. I've used this to clean out blocked propane lines in our gas grill. Um, with the blower mode, I have shampooed our couch with it in blower mode. With the portable shampooer, I have shampooed the stairs. With the portable shampooer, I have shampooed the upstairs carpet. I have shampooed the downstairs carpet. I have done so many things with this thing, and it has been used and used and used. I have vacuumed underneath the stove. I have vacuumed behind the dryer, in the dryer bin. Um, let's see what else. Oh, and this was a big, big, big job. This had this machine running for several hours at one time. And, excuse me. Um, and when uh, my dad actually worked in restaurants for quite a number of years, and one of the restaurants that he worked in, he actually brought home like curtains, like valance curtains, um, and they were extremely dusty, like nasty, like they needed to be cleaned really bad. So he brought those home. I mean, they were full of dust, like a gray layer wall of like lint dust, dust bunnies. Just, they were bad. And so he brought home probably at least 10, 15, 20 of those, probably. I'm not entirely sure. But he brought home quite a few to clean up. Because they just didn't have the equipment in the restaurant. They didn't have the time to do it at the restaurant. So he brought it home. He asked me, is there a vacuum that you have that, you know, has good attachments for this amount of dust and this amount of cleaning? And, you know, at the time, this was the only Kirby that I had, but I just let him use this with the hose and everything, and he probably was using it for a good hour, 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours straight. Just vacuuming the curtains with the hose, like, for a while. And the bag was very, very full. At the end of that, as you can imagine. So I changed the bag after that. And other than that, there was nothing that I needed to do. I have not had to do anything to this machine whatsoever. I haven't had to do anything to the motor. I haven't had to do anything at all, aside from change the bags, change the belt, and I put in a new roller brush a few years ago. But otherwise, it's been running like a clock. Not only that, but some of you might remember this. I actually made a video on this. I was polishing this machine outside on a folding table, like one of those plastic Lifetime folding tables, um, out in my driveway. And I'm polishing it, polishing it, polishing it. Well, the nozzle wasn't on, and so, like, it was just the motor shaft and the fan. It was open and exposed and everything. And I'm polishing it, and it rolls off the table and takes a nosedive of 2 feet, nearly 2 feet, straight onto my concrete driveway. The belt shaft, the motor shaft where the belt rides on, hit the pavement. These little edges of this hit the pavement. But I mean, even this plastic is barely even scuffed. Now, as you can imagine, as a Kirby collector and a Kirby enthusiast, that scared me to death. um, and that was a complete accident, but folks, if that doesn't show just how insane these things are, I don't know what does. I really don't, because that was not a gracious fall. That was not, you know, and honestly, I kind of wish I would have caught it on camera, but I'm not going to do it intentionally just for a video. I just will not do that. Um, so, so yeah, it has survived so much use and abuse, and I wouldn't necessarily say abuse, but it's been used pretty hard. And, you know, I have probably like gone through like between 10 and 15 bags in the time that I've had this. And speaking of that, this bag is almost full. It's in here now. Probably going to be changing it within the next couple months. So, but actually, it's got quite a bit of room in it. It's not even to the full line. It's probably like down here where all the pictures are. It's like somewhere in there. But I have done a lot. I have cleaned this thing up. I have polished this thing. I have what else have I done? I've done so much to this thing. But honestly, though I have my G5, I haven't had the G5 nearly as long as I've had this one. And it just keeps on chugging along. I mean, folks, you cannot argue with me about these Kirbys. I mean, it just isn't gonna happen. And honestly, you're not gonna convince me otherwise that these aren't good, or that they don't clean well, or that they're crap, or that they're... I mean, folks, we are not talking crap. I mean, in some ways, they are built better than Sanitaires. I mean, both Sanitaires and Kirbys are really, really good. And the Sanitaires in some ways are better than the Kirby, but the Kirby is also good, better in some ways than the Sanitaire. Being that the entire body, including this gray bottom part, is die-cast aluminum. Just heavy-duty metal. I mean, these things are built like freaking tanks. There's not a lot you can do to them to destroy them. I mean, yeah, if you really tried and you really, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, anything with enough force or heat will be destroyed. But this is built so well to where that will be. I mean, I've always joked about this, and it's so true though. I always joke and I say it's almost like it takes a nuclear bomb to destroy a Kirby. I mean, seriously. And you want to know another thing? Now, I've seen this from another collector here on YouTube. And he actually, now this guy, he works or did work in a vacuum shop. I don't know if he does anymore. Um, but he did a video on a Kirby Ultimate G Diamond Edition that had been through a house fire. You know what? It was charred, it was smoke damaged. The gray plastic pieces were kind of blackened and stuff. Excuse me. And I think the cord hook, the top cord hook, was like just warped from heat. You know that he actually plugged that thing in? It sounded a little bit grumbly, but it still turned on, and it still ran. Folks, if that does not show you how insane these are. Now, whether it was directly burned or not, I don't know. It could have just had smoke damage and water damage for all I know. Who knows? But still, for one of these things to go through a house fire and make it out alive, basically just cosmetic scars, that is what I call quality, reliability, and performance. I mean, if that doesn't show you how well these things are built, I don't know what does. I mean, that's just insane. So, after 5 years, what is my thought? What are my thoughts on this? I absolutely love it, still, to this day. I have not gotten tired of it. I have not felt like, this is just, this is just worn out and it's not really doing really well for me, or I don't really enjoy it too much. No, I still enjoy this thing as much as the day I bought it. And let me tell you, I have, like I said, I have used this thing for so much. I have used this thing for more than I think. I mean, I think I've even used this to clean out other vacuum cleaners with the hose. I mean, I've used this thing for just about anything you can imagine. I mean, and like I said, I just enjoy this machine so much. It is incredible. And honestly, if I had to keep just one brand of my collection, it would be the Kirby's, hands down. Because the Kirby's, they just hold up like crazy. They last. They are built just, it's just indescribable. I mean, it's no wonder that people have these for decades. I mean, it is no wonder. Because you're not going to find too many Bissels, Hoovers, Eurekas, Sharks, Dysons, the list goes on and on. You're not going to find too many of those that are doing so hot after 20, 30, 40 years. I mean, it's just not going to happen that easily because those plastic machines, they are plastic. The plastic gets brittle. They start to break. They start to fall apart. The plastic just shatters into pieces, even if you're super gentle with them, because the plastic eventually dries out, it gets brittle, and it breaks. And you can argue that that can happen with a Kirby, yes. There are pieces and parts that can eventually break off and wear out, yes. Plastic belt lifter, the plastic cord hooks, the plastic ends on the wheels, the plastic caps on the wheels, uh, you know, this scotch and plate or whatever it is here can break. The Emperor can wear out. This can break. I mean, every machine is going to have parts that are just going to break off. But I'm talking about the main housing. Yeah, the little stuff breaking, yeah, that can be annoying and stuff. But the main housing, that is a pain when that breaks on another machine because then you have to transfer the motor and all this other stuff into a new base or into something else or whatever and everything. And yeah, this thing is gonna get bumped, hit. Now, I don't usually beat up my Kirby's, I really don't. But things are gonna happen. You see that. A Dyson, a Bissell, a Hoover, a Shark. Pieces can go flying if you end up kicking something like that. Like, I've seen base plates break from being rammed into furniture by accident, or bumped into walls, or hitting the corner. And I have bumped this into walls pretty hard, and into furniture pretty hard, accidentally. I have not gotten a single dent, or scuff, or any disforming of the base plate in that time. And, you want to know something else? You can actually, there's no handle release to break You know, because most of them are plastic. You can argue that this spring mechanism might wear out. I've yet to see one wear out. I mean, I'm sure it can happen, but and honestly, if it stays down like that, it's probably because the bag is full and it's heavy, not allowing it to go up. Folks, these machines are absolute beasts. Absolute tanks. Do I still love this machine after 5 years? Oh, you betcha. Absolutely. And I will continue to use it for as long as I can have it, and that's probably going to be another 5 years, and probably beyond that. So, anyway, that's an update on my Kirby Ultimate G 5-year update. I cannot believe I'm saying that. I cannot believe it's been 5 years. Because it feels like I just got it, like, a couple months ago. That really is what it feels like. Time just flies by. I mean, 5 years. My goodness. That's a milestone. So, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.